just letting everyone in the arena know exactly what's going on. But you can see from that shot there, well, that particular shot's of some of the crowd, and about 9,000 people, I think, in here. Not the absolute pack out or sell out, but all the good seats are taken. Not a spare good seat in the arena. 10,000 is capacity and 9,000. Well, that's as good as it gets, isn't it? I've got the lucky position of being sat almost mat side, facing a large bank of seats, full public, and I can see the numbers from 409 to 414, going from my left 409 down to my right 414, and I'm facing that side. So that's going to be the far side, as I give my descriptions. And down at the far side to my right is the tunnel where the athletes enter. So said, so done. Here come the first of this afternoon's semi-finalists. And into the arena comes Duygu Çete of Turkey, and should be followed in by Afag Sultanova of Azerbaijan in the first of the semi-finals in the under 57 kilo category. My name is Sheldon Franco-Rooks. I hope that you are nice and comfortable, because I certainly am, and not yet on the edge of my seat, but I guarantee that before this afternoon is done, not only will I have been on the edge of it, I'll have been up and out of it on more than one occasion, because if this afternoon is anything like we had yesterday afternoon, we're in for a real treat. Some absolutely super judo we had yesterday, and today promises some of the same when you see the rundown of who we're getting. The referee who's taking control of this particular contest. And then the second semi-final on mat 2 is Da Silva and Merenciano. Da Silva of Brazil, Merenciano of Spain. That is on mat 2. We're going to pay close attention to the contest on mat 1. We'll let you know what happens with the contest on mat 2. That's the other semi-final in this category, under 57 kilos. Here's Çete and Sultanova. Çete of Turkey in the white judogi, half a head taller than her Azeri opponent, Afag Sultanova. The referee has brought them to the middle, just making sure that they've got good stance and an appropriate grip, and he calls Hajime and they get underway. Çete moves to her left, and Sultanova attempts a Diashibarai, but that doesn't come off. A foot sweep, just testing her a little bit with that outstretched right foot. And it doesn't unsettle the Turkish fighter. Tall and leggy in comparison to Sultanova. They both weigh under 57 kilos, in between 52 and 57 kilos. A little bit of a slip there as Sultanova went rather speculatively for a tomonagi and missed. That's the stomach throw, where she attempted to put her right foot into Çete's stomach and wheel her over. Didn't come off, and there's no score. The Turkish girl now attempting to find a way past the legs of Sultanova, but the Azeri's defense was strong enough, and the referee decided that nothing was going to come of that particular position, and calls mate and stands the pair back up. Brings them back to the center, where they'll start again, and they'll go through the same start procedure as they did right at the beginning of the contest, was to make sure that they are close enough together, that they take a good grip, and neither fighter has an advantage. And he calls Hajime, and they get back underway, and they are now, with both fighters circling to their left, and Çete beginning to shape for an attack, and Sultanova goes for a drop Seanagi, and Chete comes off the wrong side, but it's enough to score Yuko. And now attempting to turn the Turkish girl over. Yazeri now changes and comes to the top and looks for a Sangaku entry, but decides it's not going to happen, and she gives up on that particular piece of work. Here's the right-sided drop Marote Seanagi attempt, and Chete coming off the wrong side but landing on the scoring part of her body and giving up a Yuko. So Afag Sultanova leads by Yuko. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock. The referee calls Hajime. They're in the middle of the mat now, with Chete looking slightly more positive of the two. More threatening posture that she's got, leading with the right leg as they circle to the left, and it looks as though Sultanova is going to be called for an overly defensive posture. Oh, actually, it's passivity warning for Chete. She hasn't attacked. I don't think she's had any negative judo, but the warning is for passivity, not whether you're positive or negative. And that's worth pointing out. A fighter is warned or penalized if they are passive. So you need to be attacking, and in all honesty, Chete wasn't that she was looking negative. She wanted to find an opening, just couldn't find a way through Sultanova's posture, and as a result she's picked up a warning. So one warning against Chete. If she gets a second, there'll be a score given to Sultanova, but at the moment Sultanova leads from her own score, the Yuko, 1-0. Slim lead, 2 minutes and 30 odd seconds left on the clock. Nice bit of footwork there. I think it was probably a bit higher up. Didn't go so far as to say maybe she caught her up towards the knee. And that's Hisaguruma wheeling her opponent over. Let's have a look and see where the yep, Hisaguruma it is. Right foot up on the knee as she turns her opponent over. So a second Yuko on the board now for Afag Sultanova, and she leads by 2 Yukos to nothing. On the adjoining mat in the other semi-final in the under 57 kilo category, the Silva and Merenciano, the Brazilian and the Spaniard, there's no score there as yet. Minute 55 left in that particular contest. Now Sultanova defending here in Nevaza. Just needs to fight off the possible arm lock. Needs to stand up if she can here. And the referee calls Mate. Chete not able to apply pressure to the elbow joint, locking the arm, and, which would have made Sultanova submit and bring the contest to an end. That didn't happen, and the referee brings them back to the middle. They stand up now toe to toe. The referee just making sure that neither fighter has a grip that is too strong. And they're just set and ready to fight, close enough and nice and upright, and he'll call Hajime, and they get back underway with 1:40 left on the clock. Again, Chete circling to her left and attempting a makikomi, but that doesn't come off, and the Azeri Sultanova cleverly hopping in the right direction and avoiding getting caught there. 1.5 minutes left on the clock. De Silva of Brazil goes ahead by Yuko now on mat number 2 in the other semi-final with 1:28 left over there. Almost identical times here. There's 1:28 left in this contest now, as both fighters again in the middle of the mat, with the Turkish girl looking for a makikomi. That's letting go with the right hand and throwing the right leg over, but Sultanova is up for the defense. A minute and 14 seconds left. 2 Yukos still the lead. De Silva has just thrown Merenciano of Spain for Ippon on mat number 2, and that brings that contest to an end. And another attempted knee wheel from Sultanova. She's got that technique off pretty good, hasn't she? It was a nice effort there. And attacking in Nevaza as well. Turkish coach shakes his head and screams for the referee to bring the fighters back to their feet. It's always the other way round when your fighters got 2 Yukos on the board and you want them to stay on the ground, so I'd wouldn't take too much notice of that. It's well handled by Oyama, the referee in the middle. No problems there. Need to allow time for the fighters to work in Nevaza, and that's exactly what Oyama is doing. 45 seconds left to go. The Silva Teixeira of Brazil awaits the winner of this contest. The Brazilian having won her semi-final. Zeri coach looking on. Must be reasonably confident now with 45 seconds on the board and 2 Yukos the lead, that his fighter can see her way through to the final from this point. Not done and dusted yet though, and there's still a little way to go. We'll see what happens. She's close, but it's not done and dusted yet. Here comes Chete again, one last roll of the dice perhaps as she tries to get this score back. And another knee wheel attempted there from Sultanova, cleverly bringing her opponent down to her knees, and now a chance to attack in Nevaza. 20 odd seconds left to go. On mat 2, Kurbanov of Russia and Khalilov of Uzbekistan take to the mat in the under 73 kilo category semi-final. 12 seconds left to go in this contest here. Chete trails by 2 Yukos, the Turkish fighter, up against a well-prepared and competent Azeri in Afag Sultanova. Sultanova 12 seconds away from the Paralympic final here in London, and one last burst of action to come from Chete. She fails with that attempt, and now Sultanova can just see out the clock here, which she does, and it's Sultanova who goes in to the final. She'll face Lucia da Silva Teixeira of Brazil in that final, and Chete will have to go down and fight for the bronze medal. There's been some action on mat 2, much as we suspected. There was going to be fireworks with Kurbanov and Khalilov, and it's Khalilov who's thrown Kurbanov, the Russian, for Ippon. Sultanova, she'll be fighting for the gold medal. That's coming up next. Here on mat number 1, we're going to have the second of the semi-finals in the under 73 kilos. There's already been one on mat 2. Khalilov of Uzbekistan coming off the winner there over Kurbanov of Russia. But here we're going to see Dmitry Solovey of Ukraine, and he faces Eduardo Avila of Mexico. the semi-final lineup on map number 1. The two fighters led to the middle of the map by the corner judges, who act in the beginning as escorts. They then hand them over to the referee, and the referee makes sure that they have a proper stance and a proper grip before bringing them onto the map. And they do that, and they're underway, and immediately the Ukrainian attempts a tomoe-nage, and the Mexican is almost catapulted into the air and brought down on his right side for Yuko. And then the Ukrainian Sultanova follows that up with an attempted Jujigatami, an arm lock, but they're wrapped up like a pair of snakes, and you can't tell which one's going where. And the referee decides that that's not going anywhere, and he calls mate, stands them back up, and the first half a minute is over. Beautiful bit of work, left-sided tomoe-nage from the Ukrainian, using his foot almost like a hand to guide his opponent over and off onto his side. And there's 4 minutes and 20 odd seconds left here, and Sultanova leads by Yuko. The first of the semi-finals in the under 63 kilo category is underway on mat 2. Bernardes of Brazil versus Zhou of China. That contest is only just underway, there's no score there. Once the fighters, once it's been decided by the referee that the fighters are unlikely to make progress in Nevaza or on the ground, then he'll stand the fighters up and restart them. Drop Seonagi attempted from Solovey. Doesn't score though. Just couldn't turn his opponent onto the scoring part of his body. And there's a score on mat 2 on the adjoining map between Bernardes and Zhou. And Zhou of China has scored a Yuko and leads Yuko. Solovey it is of the Ukraine who leads by Yuko. 3:33 on the clock. Solovey in the white judogi, just slightly shorter than his Mexican opponent. They stand up, and the referee invites them to take a grip, making sure that they're nice and relaxed, and gets them back underway with the call of Hajime, which is start. And now Solovey tries to throw right-sided with Morote Seonagi. It doesn't come off, and the Mexican's not interested in going to ground there, just pushes the hips forward and blocks that attack from the Ukrainian Solovey. As a result of all the work that Solovey has been doing, it's rather left Avila a little bit behind, and he now picks up a passivity warning, which the referee indicates by rolling his hands around each other, and then gives the same indication to Avila by taking hold of his hand and giving him a physical reminder, as well as the verbal penalty of Shido. 3 minutes left in this contest. And still the Ukrainian leads is in a little bit of trouble there, because Avila almost able to execute a strangle there, a shimiwaza, didn't quite manage it. And the Ukrainian managing to spin out and avoid getting caught. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the adjoining mat. Semi-final in the under 63 kilo category. Bernardes and Joe. Bernardes of Brazil trails Joe of China by 1 yuko. The Chinese leading by yuko. There, 2 minutes and 24 seconds here, and it's Solovey of Ukraine who leads his Mexican opponent, Eduardo Avila Sanchez. Avila Sanchez looking to come forward, pressing hard, but he's got a very, very tough opponent in front of him. The only thing that I'd say again, I've noticed, is the conditioning of some of the athletes. The Mexican looks pretty strong, and if you can hang in here, there's still 2 minutes and 12 seconds left to go. No reason why he can't pull that score back. It's only a yuko. May not necessarily be a contest-ending score, so Avila Sanchez is not out of it. The referee calls Hajime, and they get back underway with Solovey attempting an ashiwaza and then looking for a satemiwaza, but neither of which come off. Throws himself in an attempt to throw his opponent, but it doesn't come off. And now the referee stands them back up, brings them to the center of the mat with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left to go. Solovey moves to his left, and that has Avila Sanchez following him, and he follows into the ground now after Solovey attempts a slightly weaker technique, and I think he is going to be in some trouble here, Solovey, because there's 1 minute 47 seconds left to go, and power seems to have drained. Does happen. He gave everything early on. He put that score on the board, and now he's just beginning to lose a bit of stamina. Avila Sanchez must feel that, sense the opportunity coming his way. Can't come up with the strong attacks now. Thought about doing something working off the sleeves, Sode Tsurikomigoshi, with that attack, but that one failed, and now he's going to be warned for a drop here. That warning goes up against his name on the scoreboard by means of a yellow card. 1 yellow card each, because Avila Sanchez had previously been warned. So there's 1 yellow card each, but importantly for Solovey, he's got the 1 next to his name. It's the 1 score so far. But whether it'll be the deciding one, well, I don't think so, because Avila Sanchez is really coming strong there. And just as I say that, he puts in a very, very strong right-sided Toshi. He can't get the turn that he wanted. He lost control with the hands, and he ends up flat on his face with his opponent lying on top of him, but there's no score. Joe still leads Bernardes by a yuko with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left on mat 2 in the under 63 kilo category semi-final. Here Solovey still leading. He's going to get called again. They don't want to, but there was no attack there. There really was no attack there. It's a very sad way to for the scores to level, but they're level now with 1 minute 16. Just the power was draining away from Solovey, and there's just too much time for Solovey to hang on. Great ding-dong battle on mat 2 between Bernardes and Joe. Minute 37 left to go in that contest, but still the Chinese leads. Here things are level, yuko apiece. Both have had well, Solovey has picked up the penalty, and that's gifted Avila Sanchez that Yuko. So just over a minute left to go. Here comes the Mexican, putting on the pressure. There's another good attack from Solovey. He hasn't got the power there. Earlier on, that would have thrown Solovey, but not now. Finding it very, very hard to get back to his feet. And 2 Yukos now for Joe on mat 2. She's just scored on Bernardes with 1:17 left, increases her lead. .50 left here on mat 1 in this semi-final. The winner of this will fight Kalilov in the final. Another good attack there from Avila Sanchez. I can't remember seeing many golden scores during this competition, but this one could be heading that way. Only 30 seconds left to go. Has Solovey got enough power to go ahead? Or has Avila Sanchez got what it takes to finish his Ukrainian opponent off? He tries a drop Sernegi, but he too has lost a bit of steam in his attacks. Only 12 seconds left to go. Scores are level. Yuko apiece. And Solovey gave everything in the first minute and a half. After that, he's been finding it very difficult. Both fighters are warned for refusing to take a grip. Solovey's got to be careful here because he's gone further behind with that penalty, and now if he does that one more time, it'll be Hans Sokumake. He's already lost this now. That was a really poor error by Solovey. He should have known what the score was. That was good. He kept going again, and now he gets Ippon. It's the continuation of the technique that will allow him to score Ippon. He never stopped driving. Not once did Solovey stop driving. It wasn't a clean, fast technique, but he kept driving and ended up throwing Avila Sanchez flat on his back. Avila Sanchez accepts that, and Solovey right at the death. There must have been 6 or 7 seconds left to go. He came up with the winning score. Look at the Mexican coach. He's not complaining about the technique. He knows that that's an Ippon. That wasn't a complaint. It was more of a frustration that his fighter had been caught. Dmitry Solovey goes into the final. He's going to face really the favourite now for the gold medal, Kalilov of Uzbekistan. Solovey way on mat number 2 in the under 63 kilo category. Zhou Tong of China defeated Daniela Bernardes Milan of Brazil in the under 63 kilo category. And we've got the second semi-final in the under 63 kilo category. Marta Arcepeño of Spain in the white judogi faces her Cuban opponent, David Rodriguez of Cuba. It's Arce Peño in white and Rodriguez in blue. And on mat 2, Vasquez of Spain faces Efron of Argentina. That's in the under 81 kilo category. We're underway then with this second semi-final in the under 63 kilo category, and Arce Peño throwing Rodriguez of Cuba for Wazari. Just checking to see how she manages that. Makikomi was the technique. Arce Peño throwing for Wazari. For the heads up, or the correction there. Peño herself goes over for Ippon. What a comeback by Rodriguez. Arce Peño had thrown Rodriguez for Wazari with Makikomi, but the Cuban comes back and throws her Spanish opponent for Ippon with a drop Seoinage. Rodriguez throws for Ippon. Peño will fight for the bronze, but Rodriguez will fight Zhou of China for the gold medal. It's all done and dusted pretty quick, all inside the first 30 seconds. Well, let's see who we've got coming up on mat number 1 now. Alexander Kosinov of the Ukraine faces Matthias Krieger of Germany. That's in the under 81 kilo category, the second of the semi-finals. Kosinov in the white judogi from the Ukraine. Krieger in blue, representing Germany. There's no score in the contest between Vasquez of Spain and Efron of Argentina. That's the other semi-final in the under 81 kilo category on mat 2, and there's 4 minutes left of that particular contest. We're about to get underway here with this semi-final, the first of the semi-finals. The second one is on mat 2. Why don't we do that? And then we've got the first on mat 1 and the second on mat 2. That seems like a nice bit of symmetry there. Well, we're underway and both fighters move over to the far left corner to begin the action. Krieger looking to go left-sided and moving nicely. Kosinov, beg your pardon, looking for a little bit of assistance from the referee to get back to the middle of the mat where he can take hold and they can begin again. The referee calls Hajime, and this time they move to the middle, far side, where Krieger turns back in, having heard the Jogai call, and the referee calls again Jogai, just to warn them that they're on the red danger area, trying to see if he can encourage them to come back into the middle of the mat, but they don't, and they wander out The referee calls mate and then brings both fighters back into the middle. Jose Efron has scored Wazari on mat 2 against Abel Vasquez of Spain, and he leads by Wazari now with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left in that contest. Both fighters are back in the middle now, Kosinov and Krieger, and they immediately slide their way over to the far right corner now, where Krieger and Kosinov exchange foot sweeps, or ashiwaza. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. Both fighters moving nicely. And Jose Efron has thrown Abel Vasquez a second time now. Wazari Awazeti upon, and it's the Argentinian who will go into the final. So we know that Efron is going to be there. Vasquez can go to fight for the bronze medal. So Krieger and Kosinov, they won't be aware of Efron's win, but that's who one of these is going to have to fight. Kosinov collects a passivity warning. He isn't penalised yet, but just warned, with 3 minutes and 44 seconds left on the clock. First of the semi-finals still underway here, and both fighters wander off to the far side, where Krieger attempts a tire toshi that fails, and that allows his Ukrainian opponent Kosinov to begin to attack in Nevaza, but it doesn't look as though anything's going to come of that particular exchange. So the referee calls mate, stands the pair up, and then brings them back to the middle where they are now, and where they begin to take proper posture and then look for an appropriate hold. The referee invites them to take hold, and when he's happy with everything, he calls hajime, which he does now, and they get back underway and move immediately off to the far right side of the competition area. The corner judge in that corner picks up his chair and makes room for them, but they are moving too quickly, and there isn't enough room over there, and they wander off the mat, making the referee call mate and inviting the fighters to come back to the middle. And now it's Krieger who picks up a passivity warning, as well as Kosinov. And the result of that second warning is that is a penalty against Kosinov. So it's Krieger who leads now by Yuko with 3 minutes and 17 seconds left to go. The Argentinian Efron awaits the winner of this match. He's in the final already, and the Ukrainian, as both fighters move quickly, attempts Yoko Satemiwaza, but Krieger has the awareness as he goes through the air to turn onto his front, and there's no score. Onel of Turkey now is in his contest against Briceno of Italy, of Venezuela. Briceno of Venezuela on mat number 2, and that's in the under 73 kilo category. That's the Repêchage final. The winner of this will fight for bronze. And there's no there's just the Yuko score to Briceno. That's the state of play on mat 2 in the Repêchage final on mat number 2. The winner of that contest will fight for the bronze medal. 4:40 left in that contest. We've got 2 minutes and 59 seconds left on mat number 1, and it's Krieger, Matthias Krieger of Germany, in the blue judogi, leading against Alexander Kosinov of the Ukraine in white. The referee calls hajime, and they get back underway, but they both move quickly to the far side and right to the edge of the mat, and the referee calls mate. They really need to use the middle of the mat. That would be a far better option. Far too many times they've wandered over to the far side. And now Krieger picks up a passivity warning, which levels the scores. A yuko apiece now. Scores tied at 1 yuko each with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left to go. They're standing in the middle of the mat as the referee calls mate, and the Ukrainian attempts Zashiwaza, but again they wander off to that far side, and now they're in the far left corner with Krieger trying a left Haraigoshi, but that fails and he collapses to his knees, and so does Kosinov, and the referee calls mate, stands them up and then brings them back to the middle of the mat. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left on the clock, and power beginning to drain from both the fighters, noticeably, or more noticeably so, from the fast tiring Kosinov. Krieger was so set when he came back against Pereira of Brazil, and he showed that he's got the staying power. I wonder if he's going to do the same thing here. He was down initially against Kosinov, and there was the warning which leveled the scores up. 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Both fighters have already been warned, and now Krieger acknowledges the fact that he's been given another penalty, this time for stepping out of the area. They've both been going out of the area far too regularly, and one of them was going to get penalized, and it's Krieger. Krieger needs to stay inside to do his work. He gets caught there, and Yuko it is that scored with that Yoko Sutemiwaza by the Ukrainian Kosinov. There should be now 2 Yukos on the board for the Ukrainian. I know, because the one was a penalty. That's right, that penalty. One went up to Wazari, and now there's a Wazari and a Yuko. Quite right, my mistake there. When the penalties go up, then that went from Yuko to Wazari. So Wazari is the lead for the Ukrainian. Oishigari attempted there from that's going to be Wazari Awazeti Ippon, and that'll finish off the contest. It's Wazari Awazeti Ippon. Referee just lost track of exactly how many Wazaris had been scored there, but it was Wazari Awazeti Ippon. Soromare will be the call, and now Kosinov is awarded the contest. Krieger steps over to give a hug and a handshake, and then the escorts, the 2 corner judges, move in to assist Kosinov and Krieger. And Kosinov also hearing the stadium announcer's announcement there, and enjoying hearing his name coming over the public address system, waving in celebration as he heard that he'd made his way to the final. There's a packed crowd now on that far side looking on. A single free seat, number 1. Meanwhile, on mat number 2, Onel of Turkey trails Briceno of Venezuela by Wazari. He's also got 2 Yukos on the board, Briceno, so it's a good lead there, and there are 2.5 minutes left there. 2 minutes 34 seconds left on mat 2. Well, Marion Kouadou of France is going to be given a walk over here, because her Japanese opponent, Yoneda Mayumi was injured and unable to come out for the contest. So Suazo is going to fight for the bronze medal, and a win for Briceno of Venezuela. So it's Briceno who will get to fight for the bronze medal. A few of the next contests to follow then will be in the fighting for bronze medals after this. Our next contest is Mohammed Ali Shanani of Iran on mat number 1, and he faces Takahashi Hidekatsu of Japan. There's Ali Shanani, and there is Takahashi. Ali Shanani in the white judogi and Takahashi in blue. Alexander Kaslov, beg your pardon, Alexander Kaslov. Kaslov attempted a few spectacular flying jujigatamis, and they didn't come off, and eventually the Japanese threw him with a beautifully timed right-sided uchimata. Different prospect now in Ali Shanani in front of Takahashi. And 73 kilo category repêchage final. The winner of this fights for the bronze medal. Ali Shanani looks pretty strong and tight in the top, but Takahashi's got lovely throwing skills. Really enjoyed watching him this morning with that uchimata and the ko-uchi and ojigari. Really threw well. On mat number 2 we have Päivi Tolpanen of Finland. And the Finnish girl has just thrown Kosinov of Turkey for Ippon. Tolpanen of Finland it is who takes the win on mat number 2. It's in the under 63 kilo category. We'll see her again when she comes back later to fight for the bronze medal. 10-5 here in London. It won't be that long before they get turned around and we get the medal matches. We're not far off that. Still got a little bit of judo, and luckily the referee on mat 1 has spotted that infringement by Ali Shanani and warns the Iranian. He's just a little bit sloppy with some of his mat craft. And what's so odd is that when he begins to throw, he's got such lovely throwing techniques. Once in a while he'll do the odd thing that makes it difficult to warm to him. Maybe he just needs a little bit of tightening up with some of the technical matters. There's a chance for the supervises. He's got to be careful here. Watch it closely. He hasn't moved to the right. If he doesn't move, that's when you know there's a problem. Yep, he's going to go, and he has. There's another one. He's gone as well. That's another one out. They just wait too long. See, I spoke to the doctor this morning about this, and it really just comes down to this never die spirit. They just don't want to give up, and you can understand it. You know, they've worked so hard to get here. They already have so many things to overcome, Of course, I mean, he's saying that he didn't tap. He didn't tap, but he was asleep, so he can't claim a win. I hope that his coach is going to explain to him what's happened, because he's unaware of it. He's unaware because he was unconscious, so he doesn't know why he's lost. But that's why he's lost, because he was out. So that's and there you can see his contest. So that's why he's asking what happened. It'll all come back to him, don't worry. And as I said previously in similar occasions, the only thing that will really come up and hit him is the embarrassment of having been strangled unconscious. I just wonder how many times that they have been. I'd like to talk to some of the doctors about that and find out what the numbers are. But they don't want to tap. They go right to the last second. Brave beyond belief. And for those of you that haven't seen judo before and might be slightly concerned about somebody going unconscious, it really is for 3 or 4 seconds at the very most, and then they're back up as though it didn't happen. And no long-lasting harm. As you saw, he walked off under his own steam without any problem at all, and no medical concerns for you to worry about. No medical issues for you to worry about. He's perfectly okay, just a little bit embarrassed at being put out in front of 9,000 people. Actually, I'm looking around now and it's even begun to fill up more. I'd say that we've now got a capacity crowd in here. It's 10,000, all up in the corners, almost every seat taken. There's 10,000 people in this arena. What an afternoon's judo we've got. And the next contest on map 1 is in the under 63 kilo category. It's the repêchage final, the winner of which will go to will go to fight for a bronze medal. Nicolina Pernheim of Switzerland faces Naomi Suazo of Venezuela. So that's the next contest for us to sit back and enjoy. The referee has them in the middle of the mat now, just making sure that they are nice and upright and there's no advantage one way or the other. Controls the grip and then calls hajime, and they get underway right away with the Venezuelan scoring scoring with Ouchigari, beg your pardon, right away. Ouchigari off towards the left center of the competition area. Tried the Ouchigari first and then came in, beg your pardon, Kouchigari it was that brought her opponent down. Attempted the Uchimata and then on the way out turned the body and threw her opponent back with Kouchigari. That was the scoring technique for Wazari, and it's Suazo who leads by Wazari over Pernheim of Sweden. Swedish athlete being assisted back to the center of the mat. And they take their places again on mat number 2, just to bring you up to date with what's happening there in the under 81 kilo category. Shevchenko of Russia faces Mir Hassan of Iran. There's no score there with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Pernheim and Suazo prepare for battle again. The Venezuelan coach barking out some orders to Suazo just before the contest gets back underway. And almost countered there, Pernheim. Couldn't quite get Suazo onto her back after that attack. Both fighters take a grip now. And we're underway again. 4:32 left on the clock. We've only had half a minute and there's already been so much action. referee brings them back to the middle of the mat where both fighters take hold. Pernheim in the white judogi with the ponytail flapping as she attacks, and the Venezuelan Suazo throws beautifully with left uchimata for Ippon. That really was a beautifully executed technique from Suazo of Venezuela. Just caught her opponent really well. Suazo it is who will go to fight for bronze. Just look at that. You couldn't put it in a textbook better than that. Excellently executed left uchimata from Suazo. The roar of the crowd will tell you that it's showtime for British supporters here in the Excel Arena. And the reason for that is Dan Powell is up next. Dan Powell of Great Britain. And his opponent is Isao Cruz Alonzo of Cuba. So a really tough contest coming up now. Just to bring you up to date with what's happening on mat number 2. Shevchenko of Russia leads Mir Hassan of Iran by 1 yuko. There's a minute 39 left on there as Powell and his coach John Paul Bell mount the podium, having walked up the ramp. It'll be Cruz Alonzo in the blue judogi, it's in the white judogi, and Daniel Powell in blue. Powell now is led onto the mat by one of the corner judges, or escorted to his start point. And from there, the Portuguese referee in the middle, Eduardo Garcia, will take control of them, invite both fighters to bow, take a couple of steps forward, and then stand nice and upright, close enough for both fighters to take a good grip, a nice comfortable grip. And then once he's satisfied that both fighters have got a good grip without any advantage one way or the other, then he'll call hajime, which he does now, and they get underway, moving right away over to the right side center of the mat, now drifting down to this right corner closest towards us, our commentary position here. And Powell with his back to us tries the O-Chigari, and then tries left-sided Tomoe-nagi. Neither of those trouble the Cuban. And now the Cuban trying to work from between Powell's leg and Nevaza to try and secure either a hold or shimiwaza, a strangulation technique. But Powell's defense in Nevaza is good, and he can't get past Powell's legs. So the referee calls mate and stands and says gets both fighters to stand up and brings them back to the middle of the mat. Shevchenko now leads by Wazari on mat 2 with 44 seconds to go. That's against Mir Hassan of Iran. So Shevchenko looking good for a place in the bronze medal match. We're back underway with Powell and Cruz Alonzo, and Cruz Alonzo looking to apply the shimiwaza, but it's not there. It was across the chin of the British fighter. So the referee calls mate, stands the pair back up and brings them to the middle again, where they'll go through the gripping and posture protocol. That is to say, making sure that they're standing nice and upright. No one has an advantage, and then they take a grip. And again, no one has an advantage, and the referee calls hajime, and they get back underway with 4 minutes left on the clock. And now Powell spinning round, but he spins slightly in the wrong direction, and just that one step that he took to his left opened him up a little bit, and Cruz Alonzo was able to pull off a neat ouchigari, putting Powell flat onto his back and out of the competition. And yet there was such a big hand for Powell, despite the fact that he was the one who ended up on his back. There was really generous applause for the winner, the Cuban, Isao Cruz Alonzo. He gives the brought him down eventually. There's the leg hooking in, the left leg. Maybe it was Kouchigari, because there was a bit of a sweeping motion there as well. John Paul Bell, the British coach, with a pat on the back for his man. He knows that he's young. This is a start point for Powell, and Dan Powell will be back, and so too will be Isao Cruz Alonzo, but we'll see him in the bronze medal match. Well, we've got more judo for you coming up now, and these will be the medal matches. Shevchenko, by the way, of Russia, was the winner against Mir Hassan of Iran. We're not going to have a break. We're going to go straight into things. The bronze medal matches are coming up right now, and we're ready to get underway with the first of these. And on mat number 1, we're going to see Marion Kouadou of France, and she's going to face Monica Meranciano Herrero of Spain. Well, some of the crowd taking the opportunity to filter out. Maybe they've had their fill of judo for the day. It is 5 after 5. Some of them have been here since the morning. It's possible that they're going to take a break before the finals. We've got some bronze medal matches though coming up. I wouldn't want to miss any of this. So let's just tell you what's about to take place. First of all, on mat number 1, Marion Kouadou of France faces Monica Meranciano Herrero of Spain. That's in the first of the bronze medal matches in the women's under 57 kilo category. At the same time, Cynthia Page Simon of the United States of America will face prepared in order that they don't have to make their way upstairs. This is becoming over the mat number 2, and then once they get to the top of mat 2, the far left-hand corner as I look at it, they have their last words of advice from the coach, and then they pick up their respective corner judges who act as escorts. And they escort them onto the mat and to their respective start positions. That's what's happening now. So we're ready to get underway. In the white judogi, Marion Kouadou, and in the blue judogi, Monica Meranciano Herrero. Taking charge of this bronze medal match in the Paralympic under 57 kilo categories, Dave Stanley. And of calls Hajime, and the fight gets underway. On mat 2, Cynthia Page-Simon and Dugu Chete. Simon of the United States of America in the white judo gi, and Chete of Turkey in blue. Both contests underway now with the with Koadu and Merenciano moving quickly over to the far side away from us as we look at it from our commentary position and off the competition area. And the referee calls mate and then has to call mate again and then guide them back to the middle of the mat. On mat number 2, Cynthia Page-Simon has just been thrown for Wazari by Dugu Chete of Turkey, so it's the Turkish fighter who leads by Wazari with 3:53 left on the clock. Here again, both fighters moving off the competition area, the middle far side, as we look at it, and the referee calls mate, brings them back to the middle, and then signals to Marian Koadu that she's been passive, so Koadu picks up a passivity warning. They're back underway with Meraziano attacking on the far side, but it's not successful, and she collapses onto her front with the French girl following her to the tatami. Very little chance to attempt anything in Nevaza because there was hardly any space, and one or two movements from Merenciano in Nevaza meant they left the competition area, and the referee called mate, brought them back to the middle, stood them up, and they were ready to go again, and they've drifted off that way again. And the referee has to call mate, bringing them back to the centre once again. And he'll make sure that they have a proper stance and a good grip before he calls Hajime again, and they get underway once more with 3:50 left on the clock. There's another yuko been scored on mat number 2 by Chete of Turkey against Cynthia Page-Simon, and now Chete of Turkey leads by Wazari, and she has a yuko there as well. The referee on mat 1 decides that Merenciano is also guilty of passivity, so warns the Spanish fighter. Both fighters have picked up a warning now, Koadu and Merenciano, and we're back underway with 3 minutes 40 left on the clock. Again, they drift off to that far side in the centre, and the referee's going to have to call mate yet again. And it's going to be time for someone to be warned about the area. So there was the warning to Koadu. Hopefully she'll try and stay more in the competition area, because it's been an unnecessary, an unforced error, and she goes behind. Now Merenciano turning her French opponent over. Not sure if she can now move to the top. Just needs to slide a bit higher up before the Osai Komi is called. It won't be long before he calls it, just needs to see a bit of control, and now it is. Sangaku Gatami, Osai Komi. Just needs to squeeze that on a little bit tighter, and that's better with the left hand around the waist. Nice control now, legs wrapped around the head with the shoulder trapped in there. Osai Komi, 21 seconds. And now she moves into Kami Shiogatami, Yoko Shiogatami. She moved 3 times into different holds, but all of which meant that she maintained control. And Merenciano it is who takes the first of the bronze medals. There's the awarding of the win to Merenciano. Merenciano steps forward, gives a hug I don't know how much more of this I can take. They're just too, they're so gracious in defeat. Incredible. And it must be really soul destroying to have come this far and then to be defeated, but the way that they accept defeat is just incredible to me. So much grace, and really generous in recognizing the fact that someone else has won when you yourself have just been defeated. This is the winners are pretty good too. There's always a word and a hug for their defeated opponent. Oh, massive overt celebrations, just all within order. Medano, a bronze medal at the Paralympics. Great achievement for her. At the same time, there's a minute left in the contest between Cynthia Page-Simon and Duygu Çete of Turkey. And Turkish girl leads by Wazari, and now 4 Yuko, so it's pretty comprehensive over there on mat 2. And Simon's in trouble now because Çete is trying to apply a Juji Gatami. I'm not sure whether that she's going to get that on. The referee may call Mate and stand them back up there, but we're waiting for the next pair of contestants to come into the arena. Takahashi Hidekatsu of Japan faces Shakban Kurbanov of Russia. That's in the under 73 kilo category. Kurbanov was defeated by Sharif Khalilov of Uzbekistan in his semi-final. A little bit quicker than I thought, but it was as spectacular as we'd predicted and expected. Great match between that pair, albeit a little bit shorter than I had originally envisaged. 20 seconds left in the contest between Simon and Çete, and comprehensive win here by the Turkish girl Çete. 19 seconds are left to go in that one, so a slight lull as we wait for the next contest to take place. But the bronze medal match that we saw with Kouadou and Merenciano went off with some nice action. The Spaniard coming out the winner eventually, and here Çete of Turkey ending up a comprehensive winner over Cynthia Page-Simon. There'll be tears tonight in the Turkish camp. Put money on this one not going the distance, and probably not even going to get past 2.5 minutes, because one of these is going to throw. We said that about Kurbanov and Khalilov. I didn't think it was only going to take 15 seconds though. It was a little bit quicker than I thought. Not quite sure how long this one's going to last. But we haven't got long to wait, because they're coming into the arena now. They walk along the far side length of the competition hall before turning left and then down along the short side at the far end to my left as I look at it, and then back up the ramp that leads to the competition area. A good long walk it is too, so they'll be nice and ready. Takahashi with a smile on his face as he approaches the contest there, and he's escorted on there by his coach, who leaves him now in the charge of one of the corner judges, who will then bring him on. And both fighters now escorted on by the corner judges to their start positions. There is Kurbanov, Kurbanov. Quickly to let you know that on mat number 2 there's another bronze medal match taking place. That's Mauricio Briceño of Venezuela. He faces Eduardo Avila Sanchez of Mexico. That's in the second of the bronze medal matches in the under 73 kilo category. And I'm trying to race through that so that I can get back to concentrate on the contest taking place on mat number 1. That's Takahashi Hidekatsu of Japan in the white judogi and Shakpan Kurbanov of Russia in blue. We're underway now with this contest. The Russian has got beautiful body position, great movement, and this would be just up the Japanese street, to be honest. Apart from that grip that he's got in the top right and that collar, this is going to be a great match. All the Japanese has got to do is avoid the big right arm of Kurbanov, and this could be a really, really good contest. See where that right arm is, just on the back. That's what the Japanese wants to avoid. Can't get wrapped up with the arm pulling his body down and then making it difficult for him to do his nice, beautiful stand-up techniques. That's better. That's just where Takahashi wants to be, standing nice and upright. That's when the Russian changes grips and then gets Takahashi to bend over. There's Takahashi coming in with that Uchimata Ojigari attempt. Wasn't very strong, so he decided to bail out. He went to his knees. Kurbanov not interested in any nevaza, so the referee calls mate, stands them back up and brings them to the middle. 4:21 left on the clock. On mat number 2, Briceño already leads by Yuko over Eduardo Avila Sanchez of Mexico. So that's a lead there with just under a minute of the contest gone. What a superb piece of ashiwaza. I told you that wasn't going to go far. Didn't know which way it was going to go, but it wasn't going to be long. These two are just two big throwers, and one of them had to go. And it's an absolutely classic matchup between Japanese and Russian styles. The more combative and aggressive work, maybe the more power type judo from Kurbanov, and the finesse and touch of Takahashi. He didn't have time to show it to us, but he certainly showed us his posture and his movement early on. On this occasion, Kurbanov proved the stronger. I'd have liked to have seen that go into 4 minutes, because Kurbanov, look at the hands, finish off all the work. Beautiful, beautiful execution to put Takahashi onto his back and throw him for Ippon. So a bronze medal to Kurbanov of Russia, 5th place finish for Takahashi, and that's no mean feat when you've got people like Kurbanov and Khalilov in the category. That was always going to be very, very tough. Then Kosinov and Efron in the final of the under-8 one, so that really was a tough one. Beg your pardon for bringing in Kosinov and Efron. They've got no need to be in there. It was Solovey and Khalilov that I wanted to make reference to. So Kurbanov takes the salute of a very appreciative audience here in the Excel Arena, and he exits. We'll see him next on the podium. On mat 2 at the moment, we've got the remaining 2 minutes and 50 odd seconds left to go in the second of the bronze medal matches, and that's between Mauricio Briceño of Venezuela and Eduardo Avila Sanchez of Mexico. Briceño still leads by a yuko, but I think that Briceño is going to pick up a warning for dropping. He nods his acknowledgement and bows towards the referee, accepting the penalty and the warning, beg your pardon, and they get back underway with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go, and Avila Sanchez beginning to look a little bit more threatening now. both fighters from the Pan American Union. They've traveled all this way and then they end up meeting here in the bronze medal match. Wonder if they've been on together in the past, more locally, I'd imagine, or certainly within their continental union. 2 minutes and 30 odd seconds left to go. Briceno drops down and tries to throw left-sided with Seoinage. The coach on the far side is beginning to be a bit annoying now with his constant gesticulations about what scores should be given. They can say what they like to their fighters and encourage them, but it's not their place to give scores or be derogatory towards the mat officials and questioning their handling the contest. They know that, they're told that, but again, he's up on his feet screaming and gesticulating, and if he's not careful, they're going to put him out and up in the stands where he can watch and say what he likes from a distance. He'd be better served to stay mat side and give encouragement to his his competitor. Well, another warning has been issued, this time to Avila Sanchez, and he picks up a yellow card, but he hasn't been penalised yet. We've got just over 2 minutes to go, and we get back underway with Avila Sanchez under attacking, and Briceno just collapsing to the tatami there without any real attempt to attack, and he picks up a warning. I agree with that. One of the he really has got to be quiet or find another seat. We're back underway. The scores are tied now, levelled at a yuko apiece, and here comes Avila Sanchez attacking, coming forward. Stiff arms keeping him away. He attacks with Makikomi, but it doesn't really move Briceno, and Briceno now with a chance to attack in Nivaza. Trying to push the right leg in between the tight elbow. He wanted to get that inside and under the shoulder, and it looked to a few people who couldn't see it from the other side as though he was standing on his back, but sure, he doesn't get anything from putting a foot on his back. He really wanted to get that in between the elbow and up near the shoulder, but he couldn't. Nice tight defense. And we're back underway with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go. Briceno, the one looking the more positive, coming forward and putting Avila Sanchez coming forward and putting Briceno under some pressure now, and the referee has them stood up again and back in the middle where Briceno attempts Sumigaeshi, but it's a weak one and it doesn't really trouble Avila Sanchez, and the referee calls mate, brings them back to the middle, standing up, has them with a proper grip and an immediate attack there from Avila Sanchez. That doesn't come off, but they manage to keep hold of each other, and the referee doesn't have to call mate. They stand up themselves and move now quite smoothly, but over into that far left-hand corner. And then the Venezuelan tries right-sided, then left-sided. 2 Seoinage attempts. There's the minute warning buzzer. Both the attempts from Briceno failed, neither of them troubled Avila Sanchez, and the score remains a yuko apiece with 1 minute to go. Perfect symmetry on the board there with all ones, and now we're back underway. And Makikomi attempted there from Avila Sanchez, but it's a weak one. He can't get the top half tight enough to really trouble his Venezuelan opponent, and he twists out of that, and the referee calls mate, and they'll be stood up and brought back to the middle of the mat, where the referee indicates to Briceno that he'd like him to have his belt a little bit tighter. He brings them back together and calls Hajime, and they get back underway with 40 seconds to go. The Venezuelan trying an ashiwaza that was ineffective. So too the Mexican Avila Sanchez. He tries an ashiwaza, but that was poor, but not nearly as poor as the attack from Briceno, who falls to his back without moving his opponent and picks up a penalty that sees Avila Sanchez go ahead, and mercifully the Venezuelan coach doesn't make too much noise about it, because he realizes that it was a correct application of the rule. And Aila Sanchez attacking again with Makikomi, not a very strong one, and it doesn't trouble Briceno, but what will trouble him is the 16 seconds remaining on the clock. It's not quite long enough for him, and he's really got to come forward now. The referee slows them down a little bit, whilst he just makes sure that they're standing properly and that the grip is good. And here's the last roll of the dice then for Briceno. He's got to go now, but it's Aila Sanchez who throws in an attack, and Mate is called with only 8 seconds left to go. The referee brings them back to the middle. It will be the last roll of the dice for the Venezuelan Briceno. He's got one more chance here, very little time left on the clock. He's got to go right away. He hasn't got the power to. He kneels down on one knee, and that is that. And it's Aila Sanchez, Eduardo Aila Sanchez of Mexico, who takes that contest, and with it the bronze medal. That went the distance, and that was a really, really physically draining contest, but you're not going to get the bronze medal just given to you, are you? You have to fight for it, and that really was a tough one. Both the coaches leave their seats now, and they'll go back to the they'll go to the edge of the mat, where the corner judges will bring the two fighters off and over to be collected by the coaches, and then escorted back to the warm-up area. Naomi Suazo of Venezuela, and she faces Daniela Bernardes Milan of Brazil. Fighters are ready and taking to the mat. The corner judges have done their job and escorted them to the centre. Now Mr. Oyama, the referee, will take over here, and both fighters bow, and now the referee will make sure that they're standing nice and close together, that no one has an advantage with the grip, and when he's happy with that, he'll call Hajime, which he does now when we're underway with this bronze medal match in the under 63 kilo category. It's the Venezuelan Naomi Suazo in the white judogi, and the Brazilian Daniela Bernardes Milan in blue. The first action doesn't result in any score. It's away from us on the far side, with no score coming from that first little tussle on the far side, and they move again to the far side, the center of the mat. The Brazilian almost countering an attempted Haraigoshi there from Naomi Suazo, but that doesn't come off. And there's no score. He stands the pair back up, brings them to the middle. They take a nice grip quickly as well, and the referee calls Hajime again, and we're underway. A little bit of a foot tap there from Suazo just to get things going, and then a nice effort there, Marote Seanagi. I think that's better for Yuko, and that is a Yuko. Marote Seanagi, good score from the Venezuelan. She drops under neatly. There's the little Koichi tap to open things up, yeah. Venezuelan coach thought it was Wazari, but it was Yuko, and Yuko goes on the board. Four minutes and 20 seconds to go. The Venezuelan is leading here by Yuko, and a good score it was too. That may keep a coach happy. The referee brings both fighters back together. Venezuela and Brazil doing battle this time. We've had a few Pan-American matchups today, and here's another. We had a Mexican and I remember who the other one was. Just had that. Mexico and Venezuela, and the Venezuelan coach moved from mat 2 smoothly to mat 1. That was the fight just before this, wasn't it? Well, on mat number 2, Topolani, well, there, how can you credit that? Just against the run of play. Absolutely fantastic from the Brazilian. Daniela Bernardes Milan throws Suazo for Ippon. Beautifully executed technique there from the Brazilian. Though he should be, because that was an absolutely fantastic piece of work, and put Naomi Suazo flat on her back. When they come to do the highlights reel, that's going to be in it. That was really super. I'll tell you what though, we may have had a bit of a joke about the Venezuelan coach, but his players have been absolutely super. Naomi Suazo had a really good day, showed some excellent judo, but she just came up against a Brazilian who was sharp, and the moment that she got that chance, she executed with real class and real skill. The bronze medal match on here, the Finnish girl. The next pair of fighters are ready to take to the mat. This is in the under 81 kilo category, and we're going to be seeing this Cruz Alonzo of Cuba, and he faces Abel Vasquez Cortillo of Spain. Just making sure that the fighters are positioned in the right place. The coaches hand their fighters over to the mat officials. The corner judges will escort the fighters to the correct positions. The introductions for the match on mat 2. Anatoly Shevchenko of Russia faces Matthias Krieger of Germany in the bronze medal match on mat 2. That's a nice looking match down there on mat 2. Shevchenko and Krieger will keep you informed as to what's happening down there, but we're going to be seeing Vasquez and Cruz Alonzo. Cuban in the white judogi and the Spaniard in blue. They take a grip now. Canadian referee just making sure that they are nice and relaxed before he gets them underway. That's Guy Tsunoda of Canada taking control of that particular contest. Well, we're underway here then with this bronze medal match. Cruz Alonzo and Vasquez. We move to the left side center of the competition area, but they wander out and the referee has to call mate and then bring them back to the middle, where he tries to make sure that they stand nice and upright, that they take good grip without anyone having an advantage, and then he'll call hajime when he's happy that there's a good and appropriate grip. He's to be happy now, and he calls hajime and they get underway with half a minute gone. We wander over to the near left side corner, where they get involved in a little bit of a foot tap, and then they wander out of the area again. And the referee calls mate and brings them back to the middle. Shevchenko and Krieger are underway on mat 2, and both fighters have scored yuko, so the score's tied up there with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to run in that particular contest. Here on mat number 1, Cruz Alonzo and Vasquez. Cruz Alonzo of Cuba in the white judogi, Vasquez of Spain in blue. No score yet, and a minute of this contest gone. I think the Spaniard is going to be warned here for not taking proper kumikata. Maybe not. Maybe the referee just decided that he would break that particular action up, bring them back to the middle, and then insist on a grip, which he does now. Comes back round to relax them a little bit, and then gets them ready. He's ready to call hajime, and wasn't quite happy with the start position there. We'll get them together again. And now he's ready. Calls hajime, and we're underway with 3:56 left on the clock. Neither fighter willing to take a grip. This is a great I think this is the way to go. The fighters are penalized for not having both hands on your opponent. Interesting. That's the way it works in Paralympic judo. You must have a hold, and if you don't, you won't be able to throw. So we want to see throw, so the best thing to do is to encourage the fighters to take hold, and that's what the referee's indicating when he gave those warnings, one each, to Cruz Alonzo and Vasquez. Take hold, and let's see some judo. 3:41 left on the clock, and no score yet between this pair. A little bit more concentration now that they've got both hands on their opponent. The right-sided Haragoshi attempt there from Vasquez, but it doesn't come off, and it doesn't trouble Cruz Alonzo, and the referee calls mate stands them up and then brings them back to the middle. Krieger has gone ahead by Wazari now on mat 2 and leads by Wazari, and he's actually finished it off with a big Osotogari, throwing Shevchenko, the Russian, for Ippon. Lost in the semi-final and then had to dig deep and come back in the bronze medal match, and he does it, throwing the Russian for Ippon. And there we go with that unlucky number. It was unlucky for the German, 111 on the board again. Happens from time to time. Nelson struck. Shevchenko will have to settle for 5th place, but it's Krieger who takes the bronze medal, to the delight of the German coach, who's collected a few medals here already. And now on day 2 they pick up another. Good win for Krieger. He leaves the mat elated, as you can imagine. Salutes the crowd, and then he's off the mat in a moment where his coach will be able to congratulate him. The contest on mat 1 is continuing with Cruz Alonso leading here on the back of that single penalty that Vasquez of Spain gave up. 1 Yuko the lead then. That's Cruz Alonso. He dipped down attempting a Sernagi there. Two minutes and 51 left on the clock. Cruz Alonso, a Yuko, and Vasquez now a Yuko after that penalty to Cruz Alonso. So both fighters having committed errors. The scores are level now, Yuko apiece. We move to the near side, centre of the mat, middle of the mat, near side, and the Spaniard slightly defensively, almost getting caught there by Cruz Alonso when he changed directions, looking to go off to the left. Cruz Alonso taps the feet of Vasquez with his own feet, but they're not really attempts at foot sweeps, and there's no chance of him throwing his opponent with those little foot taps. 2.5 minutes left to go. A Yuko apiece for Cruz Alonso and Vasquez. Here comes Cruz Alonso with the big hip technique, but they run out of space on this near side, and he's unable to bring off the technique. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left to go. The referee is going to indicate to Vasquez that he's wandering off the mat. He picks up another penalty, and that puts Cruz Alonso ahead by Wazari now, and there's a mountain to climb for the Spaniard. He's really going to have to get going here if he's going to have any chance of picking up a bronze medal. There comes Cruz Alonso attacking again, left-sided. That was good. Immediately after Vasquez picked up the penalty, it was Cruz Alonso who put in the first attack. Well, we're underway again with just over 2 minutes left to go And Vasquez is really going to have to get going here. I don't think he'll last the 2 minutes without picking up some other infringement. He just seems to collect them, and he can't afford to collect another. Minute 54 left to go. Cruz Alonso leading. This is the last of the bronze medal matches in the under 81 kilo category. We're underway again, and they are competing now more in the middle of the mat. Vasquez realizing that he can't continue to use the edge as he had, because he hasn't got another life left. If he picks up a penalty now, that'll be the end of it. Cuban, Cruz Alonso, well, he's also not without fault here. He's picked up a penalty, and another one will put him in a tricky position. Minute 42 left on the clock. Cruz Alonso leading. Uchimata attempted there by Vasquez, blocked by Cruz Alonso. He tries to counter the Spaniards' attack, and now a chance to work something on the ground. He attempts the shimiwaza, but not sure whether it's on or not. Referee moving around to the other side to get a better look. Still trying to apply the shimiwaza. It looks as though it's under the chin. Oh, could be trouble here. And he's lost it with the right hand. That was as close as he came to getting that. There's a minute left to go. The minute warning buzzer sounds, and the referee calls mate, and he'll stand them back up. Now, that was a concerted effort from Cruz Alonso there, putting on a lot of pressure to Vasquez, and Vasquez now breathing heavily with a minute left to go, trailing here by Rosari. Needs to find something, and he needs to find something quick, or else this bronze medal is going to get away from him. Here comes the Cuban again, and you can see how Vasquez's head has dropped. He's finding it difficult to energize himself and to fend off the attacks of the pressing Cuban now, just harrying him in Nivas and trying to turn him over, and all the time this using up energy for Vasquez to try and defend. Not easy to stay down there and fight his man off. There's a 30-second warning now, and the referee decides that he'll stand them up now with 26 seconds left to go in the contest, and Cruz Alonso still leading by Rosari. The referee has brought them back to the middle, making sure that the grip is correct, and calls Hajime, and they get back underway with Cruz Alonso immediately trying a left Koishigari, but it doesn't come off, and then going outside for just a little tap of the foot there, then tries right-sided drop Zianegi, but that's a pretty weak one, and that never troubled Vasquez. The referee calls mate and stands them up again with 10 seconds left to go, and then brings them back to the middle where they take a grip. The referee just making sure that it's a good one and a fair one to both fighters before he calls Hajime. He does, and this last 10 seconds now, good effort there from Vasquez, but there was no score there. And it doesn't matter, because that brings the contest to an end. There was no score for Vasquez there, and it's the Cuban, Isao Cruz Alonso of Cuba, who takes the bronze medal. 5th place finish then in these Paralympic Games for Abel Vasquez Cortillo. of Spain. Here comes the awarding of the contest. It's Cruz Alonzo who takes it, and a good effort from Abel Vasquez Cortillo. Stay with us for all the finals. We've got 4 finals to come. We're just going to get the stadium ready now. It'll take us a few minutes, and join us again when we bring you more action from this second day of competition here at the Paralympics London 2012.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we promised you some incredible competition, and you have indeed seen that. It's literally just a few minutes. The podium is being set up behind us, ready for those final matches. So, the gold and silver matches will be coming on very, very soon. I'm again joined by Sheldon Franco-Brooks. We will look round the applause for Michael Sheldon down the floor, please, ladies and gentlemen. So, Sheldon, let's have a quick look through who we've got lined up for the finals. Women's under 57, I see a name that you actually picked out to be in that final.
I'm hoping that I picked out a few names. Of course, I don't know what I'm doing, but we did mention Sultanova of Azerbaijan at the beginning. They don't really have a big women's team, but the women's team that they sent is really good, and here she is in the final. Going to be tough against the Brazilian, but it won't be long before they're out there and we'll know the result themselves.
So what about the men's under 73 kilos?
Well, the semi-final that I mentioned was a really good affair. Sharif Khalilov came out the winner against Kurbanov, the Russian, and then we saw Kurbanov come out in that bronze medal match, but Krieger didn't. He was terrific. Krieger of Germany.
So women's under 63 next, Cuba up against China.
This is going to be the closest one, I think. The Cuban threw beautifully in the semi-final. Joe also looks strong, maybe not as tough. Might go for the Cuban on this one.
And finally the men's 81 Ukraine up against Argentina.
And maybe this is again another one that's really, really close to call. Almost went off Kosinov in the semi-final, but he came back strongly. But everyone just keeps surprising him.
Norway, Aila, representing Philippines,